friends and family. Many do not like the power of love. Many still do not understand the power of love. Let us get deeper into this power. Many eons ago, man's heart was wide open and activated. And when the heart is wide open and activated, it does all things and thinks all things and manifests all things according to the cosmic law of love, which streams through him and out of his open heart, manifesting the world. And the world to him is his experience, all of his experiences. And all of his experiences were perfect. Even the things that which we would call mistakes that he made are still perfect because he learned from the mistake and thus did not repeat the mistake. And down through the course of time, as man slowly separated himself from his source, in his mind, in his illusions, in his vain imaginings, this not in reality a reality, but a reality within an illusion. And as he moved down through the years, through the incarnations, moving deeper into this illusion, he did not notice that his heart was slowly closing. He did not notice upon his incarnation that time in which his heart was no longer activated, that the heart chakra had gone completely dormant. And so he was no longer channeling into his world that cosmic power of love which always creates perfection, even with the mistakes, because mistakes that are not repeated lead to perfection. And so once the heart is closed and the heart chakra is no longer activated, all you have to work with is your mind. And the mind, apart from the heart, is a dualistic mechanism. It is Pandora's box. It is a labyrinth from which there is no way out. And man searches from the top of the earth to the bottom of the earth, all places upon the earth, trying to rediscover that which he is lacking. Not realizing that it has all been hidden in his very own heart. And if he could but kickstart the heart, activate the chakra, refamiliarize with everything that is hidden within it, he would find himself back in the place that he was when he first departed, as though he had never left, as though he had awakened from a bad dream, which is very much what an illusion is. And even though he had potentially spent multiple lifetimes dreaming this bad dream, the minute he reconnects to that cosmic power of love and reactivates his heart and subsequently opens his heart wider and wider with every passing day from that time which the activation occurs, he will find himself walking in that foreign land. Foreign only because he has been away from it for so long. He will find himself interacting with beings, humans, ascended masters, who walk in this land at all times, freely sharing, freely loving, freely knowing. And at first the man might be a little disoriented because he has the dichotomy within himself of really deciding what world he is in. And we have, as it were, the hounds of hell constantly putting thoughts into his mind, putting words into his ears, putting images into his eyes, to try and convince him that he must be bound in the lower astral plane and that he has no power to escape it or do anything about it. But then his heart speaks up and tells him the great cosmic truths, reminds him of all the things that he has forgotten or had forgotten and is now coming into remembrance of. And the main thing being that love conquers all things. Love is that great, mysterious, hidden power that comes forth from the heart when it is activated and open, and has the power to transform everything external from that man. And this is so simple that it is beyond difficult for the man that believes himself stuck in the lower astral plane, who cannot hear with the heart, cannot think with the heart, cannot perceive with the heart, and does not know the power of this cosmic power called love. So he may need to spend some time in meditation. He may need to spend some time in the desert. He may need to spend a lot of time in silence and solitude, going deep within. And once discovering that the heart was closed, find out why it was closed. Endeavor to open it. Once having opened the sesame, entering into its marvelous, glorious hall, filled with all manner of what the lower man would say is treasure, riches, bounty, abundance. And the man is so taken back by this that his mouth hangs open and he is in fact speechless. He wonders how he could ever convey such a mysterious, marvelous truth to his fellows who still believe themselves to be the illusion, playing the part in the illusion. Completely powerless, completely in lack. Stuck in the duality of their own mind, their own thinking. And as the illusion deepens and darkens, it becomes imperative that man find a way to activate and open his heart once again. To reestablish his sovereignty once again. To boldly proclaim that which he used to know unwaveringly, which is simply, I am. And if you feel that you have attained, are you willing to be tested? Are we willing for God to hold up his mirror that reveals to us every detail of who and what we actually are, and in viewing that image of the inner self, do we not see where the changes must be made? Where the reconnections must be established? Having seen the framework with very little structure upon it, do we not have a great realization? The framework being the soul, the etheric body, the chakra system, and in most it is just a dead framework. Who is the one that builds and constructs the etheric body, the soul of man? Again, born with the framework in place, but not activated, not built upon, certainly not completed. Who builds this structure upon this framework? If not, I am. Is Buddha going to build upon your framework? Is Jehovah going to build upon your framework? Is Allah going to build upon your framework? Is Jesus going to jump inside of you and build your framework? Or the structure upon the framework? And if you are one with the heart, and deep within the heart, and open to the still small voice in the heart, you would perceive that I am building the structure upon the framework that Source put in place. And only through the unification with all things can you begin to understand this. That all things in the cosmos are I am. Manifesting in different degrees of understanding or not. And being careful not to fall into judgment upon those who are not. As we continue to gather all the atoms of self to this great and glorious framework, unto the completion of man. And in all of our getting, let us get wisdom. Practice the presence of the great I am within all of us. Because there is the unity of all things, all man. Find your quiet place and meditate with the intention of bringing forth the presence of the great and mighty I am within you. And through your open heart, let it come all the way up, permeating your mind, your sight, your thoughts. What do you sense within? Do you feel and know God calling you to a higher state? And through that higher state will automatically be manifested a higher world? Don't we understand how this works yet? States of consciousness bring about worlds. And although you might limit yourself, don't limit God. You are not bound and relegated to any world that you have perceived, some world other than that which you want to be in. Some hellish world where we still have people readily qualifying and confessing that this world is so terrible that it's ending, and their heart must be closed because you couldn't repeat something so dreadful as this beautiful, wonderful Mother Earth being utterly destroyed, and thinking it an act of the Creator. And if he was destroying a world that was so terrible and evil and awful, how on earth did you end up there? What are you doing there? So clearly you must have manifested the wrong world, or be manifesting, actively manifesting the wrong world. Because do you think God is destroying Eden? Do you think God has any intention of destroying heaven on earth? And again, these are metaphors, because you are God. You are the one that destroys that world that you hate, that is so evil that you cannot stand. But you don't destroy it outside of yourself. You don't destroy it physically, literally. You destroy its power to hold you in it, within yourself, within your thinking. And if you have a closed heart and you are not connected to the great cosmic law of love, you are in fact bound in that world that you hate, that is in fact hell on earth. And you're trapped there in an endless cycle that only ends when you end it. When you remember the God power within you. Because how could you not have that God power if you are connected to Source and you know this? So you are the creator and destroyer of worlds. So if you feel like you're in the end times, perhaps you are. Perhaps you need to destroy that world. And enter back into heaven. We leave you, my beautiful friends and family, in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Until next time.